Okay, this is going to be my second attempt at a how-to video. This one is going to be how to clean a Tecumseh carburetor. This here is your average Tecumseh carburetor. This one came off an Aaron's 5-horse. I'm going to show you how to clean it today. First, what you need is a 13mm wrench and 13mm socket usually, because most Tecumsehs, there's the motor mount and you can't get the socket under there, and if you try to use an open end, sometimes you can possibly strip it, so I just usually remove the whole carburetor. Get my socket. Just when you remove the carburetor, just watch out for the governor linkages. That's one thing I don't like about Tecumsehs, but this is my 13mm socket. And this is the main jet. Don't lose this washer that's on here. Okay, now what I usually use is some super duster and gunk medic carb cleaner. Doesn't really matter what kind of carb cleaner, or you can use dust off air. I usually remove it. Oh, there's the gas. Okay, usually I give it a little spray here. And a lot of Tecumsehs, usually a lot of their symptoms is it start and stop. They start on a prime, and they don't keep running. Usually what that is a clogged jet. My camera, this one, is not very good quality, but I'll show you. I have a zip tie peeled off for the end, and there's a tiny jet hole here. And it's right on here. I can see it with myself, but cameras are pretty hard. Okay, it's in there, and you want to make sure that that is not clogged. When you take out the jet, just look for a small hole in there, and if that's clogged, that'll cause the symptom of starting and not staying running. So make sure that's clean. Give it another blow. I lost my... Okay, put the washer back in. Give it a little super dust blow. There we go. Okay, so that's done. Now you're going to take off the bowl. Or some people take the bowl off, then do the jet. A lot of the old gas will come out. And this is what a Tecumseh bowl looks like. If you can see in there, see that water, the darker colored gas? Old gas and a bit of water and some dirt in there. So now what you should do is dump out that old gas in the water. Now you should be left with that. Usually what I do, if the carburetor cleaner can't clean it well enough, I usually take this kind of sandpaper. It's not really sandpaper, it's some kind of stuff. It says 180 on it. And usually what I do is I just go inside and take off the varnish, like so, because there is quite a bit of varnish in here. Alright, now I got some paper towel here. I'm going to give the bowl a little bit of a wipe, and it should be dry in there. Then I go again with this. And there should be some dust in there. This is where this comes in handy. Blow the dust out. That's pretty clean now. Next, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the float, Tecumsehs use a float style carb, make sure that still works. Make sure you blow out a bit of in here where the jet goes, and then blow it out with the air. And now what you want to check is your fuel line here. Make sure that's not clogged. And blow it out with air. I prefer using this air better than compressed air out of a compressor because it's more accurate, 'cause it's got a nozzle on it. Make sure you don't lose the needle in there. That looks pretty clean. Now just give it a bit of a blowout in the primer, because that, you never know, that could be clogged. Alright, now I'm going to check if there is any gas in the float. Give it a little shake. All you should hear is a bit of rubbing. If there's gas or water in your float, that'll make it too heavy, give it too much gas, and flood it out. And now, that is about it for cleaning a Tecumseh Carb. Now this is the butterfly, where the linkage goes for the automatic governors. I don't want to remove this, but if you look down here, you'll see the flap in there. When you move it, it'll close up to let more gas in. There shouldn't really be any oil down the air filter spot. So now we'll assemble the carb again. Here's my clean bowl. Put it over top of the float. Press it on. Now you want to get your jet. Make sure you didn't lose the washer. And then screw that in. Alright, there we go. And you don't want to tighten it too tight, because there's always a risk of stripping. So get your 13mm socket. Tighten it up. But you don't want to have it too loose, that gas will leak out. If you have your fingers around the rubber gasket, you should feel the bolt pulling itself over it. I usually just go a little bit over what you would put a spark plug into a cylinder with. So that's basically how I clean a Tecumseh carburetor. This is your fuel. This one was rotted, so I need to get that off. And your butterfly. And then your spring. The spring which keeps the governor at its spot goes on here. And there should be an intake gasket. Usually it stays on the motor when you take it off. If there's no intake gasket there, you won't keep sucking gas, because it'll just suck most of it. It'll suck a lot of air, and your engine won't run. Or if it does run, then it won't run very good. Usually, if it's dirty down there in the intake, I just get a little piece of paper towel. This one's pretty clean. Just go like this. Yeah, see, it's dirty on there. Alright, and then that's about it. One more tip. Usually, if a carb has never been serviced or cleaned, it'll be covered in oily grass gunk. So usually you just want to take a bit of carburetor cleaner, spray it all around, and break off the gunk so you have a better look at everything, and it just looks overall better. Usually what I do, I have a attachment for my air compressor. Here, I'll get it. There it is. It's like a big long air nozzle. Got the handle here, and then it has this end, a rubber tube that goes up that you put in any kind of solvent. I usually put it in old RC nitromethane fuel, which has the power to blow away the grime, and then you have gas and the air coming out, and you just blow it away. That's what I did before I took this apart. Make sure you put in your air filters.